Today I am playing along with Paper Issue Scraplift Sunday of Kelly Feldman's absolutely beautiful spread, and personally I've been itching to play with some mixed media, and I was recently inspired by one of my 52 Friday favorite spread. So I'm grabbing some of my Vicki Boutin art crayons as well as my Lindy's magical powders, as well as the scissors from which I am gathering inspiration. This is only the second time I've done something like this, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to turn out, but my goal is to create some sort of gradients to make it appear as though I am in space. Personally, I've always loved everything celestial, from the moon and stars to completely obsessing over photos from space. Every time NASA comes out with recently taken photos, I just hop on there and just gawk at the ethereal colors and just the mystery of it all. I think kind of seems a little magical to me, so it's right up my alley. In my previous spread that I showed you, I had only used Lindy's magical shakers, and I'm starting to realize that it's a lot easier to use Lindy's rather than the Vicki Boutin art crayons, and that's solely because the Lindy's I basically put in a bunch of water, and the Vicki Boutin art crayons you have to put the water on top or over the crayons. So the ratio of color to water is greater with Lindy's and therefore more easily blendable, if that makes sense. The reason why I think it's important is because if you have more water, you get those cooler blending effects when you watch other people's watercolor videos, or at least I watch other people's watercolor videos because I think they're absolutely neat. I am definitely not an artist by any means, and I have not watercolored before this year whatsoever. But it sure is fun playing with all these colors. Speaking of, at this point I am realizing that I am building up little pools of watercolor, so I am taking my homemade cotton flannel wipes to wipe up some of the excess in hopes that the washi tape will hold and hopefully give me clean lines. This might sound a little weird because a lot of watercolor artists and mixed media artists I see use a lot of paper towels, but with our current climate crisis, I am trying to be as low waste as possible, so I have made a ton of these little cute cotton flannel wipes for when I had my baby, and we use them as Kleenex now, and some people might find that a little weird, but it helps me do my part for the earth. So speaking of planets, that's what I'm creating now, and I'm basically just dropping bits of color all around in a circle and trying to blend them as well as I can. I left the most daunting part for last, which is the moon, because I really had no idea how I was going to approach it, so I was hoping that the colors would just kind of blend together, and they kind of sort of are, so thankfully they came out sort of decently. Like I said, I am no watercolor artist, so please don't judge. I may be crafty, but I'm definitely a visual crafter, meaning that it's difficult for me to get inspired from original thought. I have to see something visually and get inspired from it. Super weird. I don't know if anybody else can relate or if it's just me. In any case, back to the layout. I have blended all my colors to my satisfaction, and I'm now taking some gesso and splattering around, as well as taking the blunt end of my paintbrush to create stars by blotting them onto the paper and just taking the paint and dragging it outward. And here's the moment of truth. Will it come off cleanly? It kind of sort of did. For the most part, it left clean lines, but there were a couple of spots where I could tell that the watercolor did get kind of soaked up by the washi tape. But that's okay. I am happy with the results. Now, I know the plants are not space related, but the colors just spoke to me, so I fussy bladed some of these beautiful monstera and palm leaves to go under my photo. The color to me from the leaves pulls the turquoise from the watercolor out a little bit more. Now I am mounting my homemade planets on foam adhesive tape, because if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I'm slightly obsessed with it. I also ended up tearing some squares up into tiny pieces and lifting the edges of the palm and monstera leaves up a little bit just for added dimension. Now I'm mounting my alphas and hoping that they fit, and we have another scrappy serendipitous moment. It was meant to be. Lastly, I am adding little dots and little sparkles and stars just to kind of enhance what's going on already. And I did glue some sequins as well, doing my date stamp, and that's it. I hope you had fun. I hope I inspired you above all, and thank you so much for stopping by. Have a beautiful day.